Hi all, it's Rambler here with a quick update on what's going on my end, and then my thoughts and opinions on Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, which I saw last night. So, updates. I'm sorry that I haven't had a video out yesterday or the day before. I'm still having some problems with Bandicam, but I haven't had time to really mess around with it. I've been busy doing family stuff, and over the next few days I'm going to be also busy with family stuff. Hooray! So I should be able to get a video out today being Wednesday. I'm hoping to get two out, although one of them is going to be a post-commentary video because of my problems with Bandicam, so a bit of a bummer on that one. But I'll try and get another video out that's not post-commentary. I might have to use Fraps to record it though, as opposed to Bandicam. So there you go. Anyway, Hank's very kindly suggested that I work with him to get these problems sorted. I think I know what the main problem is, but I'll discuss it with Hank and we'll sort something out in the future. So if you're listening, Hank, yeah, I will get in contact with you and we'll sort it out. Cool. I've also been gifted a few games by Kitty Guardian, which is pretty awesome. I won't be playing them for a while yet because we've still got a few more games to go, but Kitty understands that. But I'm very looking forward to playing those on the channel. It should be good fun. Probably frustrating as well, but good fun nonetheless. So thank you very much, Kitty Guardian, for your gifts and your continued support. So to finish things off then, my thoughts, feelings and opinions on Batman vs Superman, which I again saw last night. And despite a lot of people that I know and a lot of internet critics I watch saying how much the film really isn't very good and sucks and is a complete mess of a film that makes no sense, and having a go at pretty much everything about the film and giving it really bad reviews, although some people are giving it okay reviews and what have you, I actually thought it was alright. I really did. I actually watched the whole film and thought, this is alright. It's not a great film, but it's not a bad film either. It's borderline good, I thought, actually, and I don't see why people are giving it such harsh reviews altogether. Actually, I thought it was okay for a Zack Snyder film as well. Actually, it wasn't too bad at all. I preferred it over Man of Steel, and just to give you my quick thoughts and feelings on Man of Steel, I really didn't like Man of Steel. I thought it was a very dull, very boring movie that I know was trying to make out Superman as someone who can be vulnerable and someone in conflict between, is he a Krypton, is he a human, which side does he pick? I get all that. So it was meant to be a film that showed that Superman can be human and show that he can be vulnerable, as opposed to, being the all-powerful, mighty American godlike creature that he has been in previous films and in comics. Or some comics anyway. But overall, I just didn't enjoy the film. I thought it was very boring. I couldn't get into it. I've watched it twice and I still didn't like it. I thought Henry Cavill is a good Superman, and in Batman vs Superman he's even better. So I think Henry Cavill as Superman and Clark Kent was actually he's a really good choice. He's really good. I hope to see him in at least one more Superman film, maybe two possibly, because I think if he can get some good writers and a better director to make a Superman film with him in it, Henry Cavill's really good as Superman. I think he's one of the better Supermans we've seen in a while, so kudos to him. The only thing I did like about Man of Steel was the end, which I thought was pretty good, when he snapped Zod's neck. I liked that end. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I did. I thought it was quite ballsy and quite bold, and I thought, oh, okay, I know where they're going with that idea. And although it wasn't brilliantly set up, it was a good idea. I enjoyed it. So, apart from the end, I didn't really like Man of Steel that much. But Batman vs Superman, I preferred it much more than Man of Steel. It is much, 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 much better. There are problems with it, of course, but overall, I thought it was okay. It was a good film. I would watch it again, and I'd probably get it on Blu-ray. To be honest with you, I didn't. Again, I don't see why people are giving it such bad reviews. The only thing I can think of is diehard fans of the comic books. Diehard fans of Batman and Superman in general probably didn't like the depiction of Batman very much. Although, excuse me, it's Wednesday morning. I apologise. I'm such a terrible person when it comes to getting sleep and yawning. I suppose I should just rename my channel Neo Yawner, but whatever. A lot of people sort of don't like how Batman's depicted, and they don't like how certain elements of the story, which I believe is based, the whole film is roughly based on The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight Returns, or something like that, by Frank Miller. As a graphic novel, I can't remember which one it was called. It's the one where Batman comes out of retirement and then he does cool stuff, and then it gets really weird, and then he has to fight Superman. And I like the first half of that graphic novel, but then when it starts getting weird with Superman, then it got really confusing. But anyway, it's loosely based on that, and the film overall, I thought, was fine. I think my biggest complaint about Batman vs Superman is it's a very long film, and I think it's very slow to begin with. If you don't set yourself up for a long ride, it is a slow movie, and not a lot happens straight away. And then when things do happen, they happen rather quickly. Like my yacht. I apologise. Once again, I'm doing it early in the morning when I've got some time. A lot of things that do happen in it happen very quickly and very suddenly. So in terms of the pacing of the film, it's quite jarring. It can be really slow, and then really quick, and then really slow, and then really quick, and then really, 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 really quick. Really slow, and really, really, really quick. But yeah, pacing-wise, it's not the best paced movie in the world. Story-wise, it's not as hard or as difficult to follow as people make it out to be, but it's still not necessarily a very coherent story. There are faults with it, but I was pretty much up to date with what was going on in the film, and I was mildly drunk when I was watching it, so that's pretty good for me, to be honest with you. Although I actually do believe that when I am not drunk, but when I'm tipsy, I've had a few drinks, but not to the point where I'm like, way. I think I calm down a bit and able to focus more. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. So yeah, I watched it mildly drunk, and pacing-wise, it's not terribly good, and story-wise, it's not the most coherent. But you can make sense of it. If you prepare yourself for a long ride, you can just about make out what's going on without too much problems. Although there are some points in the film where you're like, hey, what's going on here? What? And like I said, but they're not points that I think make or break the film story-wise. So it's not a bad story. And again, the characters, I think Henry Cavill as Superman is really good in this. He's much better in this than in Man of Steel. Although, having said that, Man of Steel was about setting up his character. In this film, he's allowed to be Superman more, and I think he does it quite well, actually. So, again, Henry Cavill as Superman, good choice. He's a good actor for this part. He looks the part as well. He really does look like what Superman should look like. He was really worked on his body to make it big and strong to show Superman. I have to be honest, he's one badass and very good-looking Superman, I might add. So, again, Henry Cavill in this is very good for what the script and the direction allows him to be, but either way, it's still good. And his scenes when he's fighting and being serious is good as well. I think Henry Cavill does a really good job of it as Superman. So no problems there from me. I like Superman in this, and I'm not a massive Superman fan, but after watching this film, I'd like to explore more of Superman's world. I really do, and I have seen the original Superman film. I like that, but yeah, after this film, I thought, oh, actually, you know what, film? Batman vs Superman, well done. You actually make me take Superman a bit more seriously, and you made me enjoy him as a character. Brilliant. So give kudos to that. I mean, that's a personal thing, mind you. That doesn't necessarily mean everybody else will see the same thing or enjoy it for that reason like I have. But for me, I did. It made me like Superman more, so that was good. Ben Affleck as Batman and Bruce Wayne, I thought he actually did an alright job. Again, given the script he was given and the direction he was given, he was pretty good. He's very badass. I prefer him over Christian Bale, though they still don't quite get the voice right of Batman. I mean, we've all made fun of Christian Bale's Batman's voice, but in this film, it's no better really. They put like a microphone in his mask, so when he speaks, it sounds gritty and gruff, but it also sounds slightly robotic. It's like a sort of mild scrambling microphone to hide Ben Affleck's voice. You don't hear it very much, actually, to be honest, but when you do, it doesn't sound very good. I have to be honest, I still can't get Batman's voice right, but Batman doesn't actually say a lot in this film, so it's not, it doesn't grate you too much, but yeah, they still need to work on Batman's voice. But Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and is actually pretty good, and the way that they interpret Bruce Wayne is a bit different in this film. He's much more vengeful in this film, and he does kill in this film. Oh yeah, Batman kills in this film, and for some people, again, that really upset them because they like how Batman doesn't kill. But in the very, very, very early comics of Batman, I think he was in Detective Stories or something like that it was called, he did kill. And I'm not saying that they were inspired by that, but because of that, and I knew that he used to kill before they changed him so that he doesn't kill as often or has a moral quandary over it. In this film, he's very badass and he's very upfront and brutal, and I like it. There's a particular sequence in the film where I think it's a dream sequence, and you see Batman get ambushed by some dudes and he fights them. It's a really good fight scene. I won't spoil it for you here, but it's a really good fight scene and well worth the watch. But it really made Ben Affleck's Batman look badass, and he looks good in the costume as well. The costume they give Batman in this is pretty good. Slightly old style Batman, like 1960s Batman, but obviously without the camp colours and all that. But it's good, and I think Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne as well was pretty likeable. I liked him. And I liked Alfred, the person, I can't remember the actor's name who played Alfred. I recognise him, but I don't know his name. Alfred in this is good as well. He's less butler and more hands-on mechanic, inventor, sort of like buddy to Bruce Wayne, as opposed to like full-on butler like Michael Caine was, and the previous actor who played Alfred. He actually does use his knowledge just to build things for Batman. He's tweaking gadgets and stuff like that, and just sort of he's the comic relief of the film as well, in a way. But he was good. He's a good actor and he's a good Alfred. He made a really good interpretation of Alfred. I liked him. Made him a bit more bolder and a bit more 3D as a character. Although I like Alfred anyway. I mean, I like Michael Caine's Alfred and I like the actor who played Alfred beforehand. Nothing wrong with them whatsoever. But this particular Alfred I thought was pretty cool because he was, again, a bit more hands-on. He's less butler type and a bit more, you know, yeah, I'll get this done for you, and oh yeah, we just need to fix that. And he helps Batman out, he helps Ben Affleck and Batman and all that out with some of the jobs in the film he has to do, or some of the things he's doing in the film. You know, Alfred's there to help him do it, and I think that's really cool. So Alfred in this film's cool as well. So those are the main leads, and again, I like, just to close off Batman, I like Batman's brutish attitude in this film when he's attacking people and quite openly, he's not like directly killing them per se, as in he doesn't make sure he kills every person he fights. He'll knock them out if he can, but if he has to kill them, then he will, if you know what I mean. It's just sort of like, he's not afraid to kill, is what I'm saying, and it's good. I liked it. So yeah, Ben Affleck, he's good, and I liked him as Batman. Henry Cavill as Superman was good. Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg. I've heard lots of things about Jesse Eisenberg's performance of Lex Luthor before I went to see this film, and I suppose this is a spoiler alert in a way, but whatever's. It's only a minor one. Jesse Eisenberg doesn't play Lex Luthor, he plays Lex Luthor's son, Alexander Luthor. So even though it's still Lex type thing, he's not actually the original Lex Luthor, he's Lex Luthor's son, which is fine. But the things I heard about Jesse Eisenberg before I went to see the film, people really didn't like his performance at all. They think he's a good actor, but they reckon he was horribly miscast and not quite sure how to perform as Lex Luthor. And I have to be honest, after I watched the film, I would compare Jesse Eisenberg's performance of Lex Luthor to Jim Carrey's Edward Nygma in Batman Forever. It's very similar, with a bit of Joker in him. And I can understand from a lot of people's perspective how annoying and grating and very out of place he is in the movie, because the movie overall is very dark and depressing and serious, whereas Lex Luthor is trying to be quite funny and quirky and like the psychotic evil. And he's a bit out of place. You know, his character, his tone, his attitude, his performance is a bit out there. So I can, and people have bashed it completely. So, you know, I can understand why people didn't like him. But actually, overall, I didn't think he was that bad. You know, once I sort of accepted, or I suppose because I already knew what his character was going to be like, or at least just from preconceptions, maybe my expectations were set really low. But although he could be grating from time to time, I didn't feel like every time I saw him I wanted to die or anything like that. Like some people were saying, oh God, I just wanted to leave the cinema, I was crying, I just looked away, blocked my ears, I just wanted to not be there when he was on the screen, he ruined everything. No, he didn't actually. No, he I could see what he was trying to do, and it was flawed, but it wasn't as grating or as annoying as people made it out to be. I thought he was actually quite interesting and alright actually, so I'll give, you know, maybe I'm being soft, but I actually didn't mind Jesse Eisenberg's performance of Lex Luthor. The only criticism I have of Lex Luthor was his plan. I didn't quite understand what his plan was. Again, I don't think that's Jesse Eisenberg's fault. That's more to do with the writing of the script, about the script writing, I should say. His plan, although you do make sense of it towards the end, it's not made clear until near the end, and even then, actually, you kind of have to fill blank spots yourself. It's a typical supervillain plan, but it's not very well explained. Like, his motivation is lacking somewhat, but then again, you could argue that because he's so psychotic and mad genius, it might just be a mad genius plan, you know. as in it doesn't make sense because it's not meant to, because he's a mad genius, he's crazy and nuts, and therefore his plan doesn't have to make sense. Only to him it has to make sense. To everybody else, unless he doesn't want to explain it to you, then he doesn't have to. So I can go with that. So again, it's a typical supervillain plan. It's nothing special, but it's a bit hard to follow. But again, I don't blame Jesse Eisenberg for that. I just blame the scriptwriters. But I thought Lex Luthor was not as annoying as people made him out to be, and actually tolerable, and in some places actually quite cool. So I liked him. But yeah, he was very. I will admit that he was out of place in the movie. Like, he didn't quite match the dark, depressing tone that everybody else was going. Like, Batman's performance was dark and depressing, but action-packed, and Henry Cavill's Superman was, not dark, depressing, but darker than Man of Steel. But he's still cool though. But yeah, it's a bit darker. Like, the whole film was meant to be dark and quite depressing-ish, and serious, whereas Lex Luthor was a bit not serious. But I don't know why they chosen to do it that way, or why they went with Jesse Eisenberg's performance. But it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. It's all right. My biggest complaint out of all the characters, I have to be honest, is Wonder Woman. Again, lots of people seem to be praising Wonder Woman for being, oh yeah, she's strong, she's awesome, and she's not the cliched Wonder Woman we've seen before. She's no nonsense, she's tough and serious and everything, blah 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 blah. And I agree with the very, very, very brief action scene she has towards the end of the film. She does actually kick some butt. She kicks ass. All right, she goes from being really quite a boring and dull character to actually, oh my god, okay, fair enough, there's some action. Yeah, she pulls off the action pretty well. So the actress who plays her, she pulls off the action part of Wonder Woman pretty well. But other than that, she does nothing in the film. I mean, she does one little thing, and that's it. In fact, I don't even think she does one little thing. She's just after something really meaningless that Lex has got on her. It's like a photograph or something like that. She does nothing, as far as I'm concerned, in the film. And she probably plays a small role here and there, but I was really bored by her performance. And I have to be honest with you, and I know I'm going to lose some PC points for this, but you know me by now. I didn't like the way she looked. I don't like what they've done to her as a character. Like, they've picked this actress who's very slim, very slender. She's got a good face, mind you. Her face is quite nicely featured, but she's got no breasts. She's not very tall. And she doesn't have like strong bushy hair or anything. It's just kind of like short and well, it's not short, but it's straight and a bit, I have to be honest, the way they've characterized her in this movie is very dull. And I know why they've done it. They've done it to show that females can be strong. A female character is not a damsel in distress and busty looking and fit and sexy completely. She can look strong and powerful, but not have sex appeal, if you know what I mean. Like, there is a bit of sex appeal in Wonder Woman. There always will be. She shows a bit of skin and what have you. But the main focus of Wonder Woman is her abilities, her powers, her beliefs, her intellect, that kind of thing. It's nothing to do with her body image or anything. So I can see why they've done it, to try and fit with the whole current social personification of female characters trying to be stronger and more independent of male characters saving them, etc. And at the same time not having big boobs and things. But I'm sorry, I think Wonder Woman really should be a big woman with big boobs, strong, athletic, and all the stuff that was in the film. And she should have been a bit more. She didn't have any personality. That was the biggest, apart from the lack of boobs, the biggest flaw I had with her. She had no personality. She was so boring and wooden, and I just thought, why are people praising her again? She's boring. I mean, like I said, I don't want her to be a damsel in distress or anything, no, but she's meant to be an Amazonian woman, and Amazonian women, at least depicted in media, anyway, I'm sure in real life, well, I don't know if they exist in real life, actually, that's my own fault. But anyway, the point being is, the depiction of Amazonian women I've seen are they're big, strong, very big-breasted women, not because of sex appeal, but because they've had to be. They survive in the Amazonas. They have to be strong. They're warriors, essentially. They look like a big warrior. But she doesn't. She looks really small and diminishing, and I didn't like that. I just thought it didn't quite match her strength and her action in the film. I just thought the actress herself was not the right choice. But again, I'm not a very PC person, as you know. Please feel free to dislike this video and have a go at me for that and what have you. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. But personally, no. She was not, the actress was not the right person for that role. She should have been big, busty, but not like ditzy or stupid. She should have been intelligent and smart, very strong, very funny, and can hold her own. but not flirtatious or anything like that, if you know what I mean. I'm not trying to make her out to be this big sex symbol that flirts with Batman and Superman. No, of course not. No. She's a strong, independent woman that kicks ass, but she's got to look the part. She's a warrior. She didn't look like a warrior to me. She had the costume on, but she didn't look like a warrior. It was a very safe bet, PC choice. And I can't help but think, yes, Wonder Woman is depicted as a normal-looking woman. She's slender, she's got no tits, and she's fit. Yeah, because every woman I've met is slender, fit, and has no tits. Honestly, I don't get it. Anyway, point being is I didn't like her very much. But I will give her credit, her action scenes were pretty cool towards the end. So she's got the action part right. But yeah, I'm going to be nitpicky about her look. She didn't look like a warrior, that's all, but whatever. So there's that, and I think that's about it in terms of supporting characters. They're there. Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She's a bit, I wouldn't say useless in the film, but she's not quite as busy or as important as she was in Man of Steel. So she's got a bit of a backdoor part in this film. She's not bad or anything, but she's a bit broody and miserable. She doesn't do very much. She does a little bit. She does little bits here and there, but they weren't necessary. You could have removed her from the film and not much would have changed, to be honest with you. But hey, she's Superman's squeeze and I suppose she has to be there type thing. But yeah, she didn't have a very big part in this film, so I'm not going to criticise her too much, but she didn't have a big part in this film, but I don't think, again, that's not the actress's fault or anything, that's just the writers. But, as a supporting character, she does the job, And Superman's mum, Martha, again, has a very small part in the film, but it's poignant, it works. And she acts as the damsel in distress in this film, I guess, because she's older or what have you. It's for Superman, against Superman, so it's not Superman actually trying to save Lois Lane this time, although he does save Lois Lane a couple of times. And the one time he saves Lois Lane, the first time he saves Lois Lane, at the beginning of the film, she's all like, oh, I don't know if you can really love me or not and be who you are with me because of all that's going on. Do you know what? Sometimes I feel like you're just not yourself in front of me. And I'm like, hang on, woman, he just saved your life. And you're just going to act all like, oh, well, yeah, you saved my life, but do you love me? I thought, oh, God, what a bitch. She's so... She is very bitchy in this film, Lois Lane, a little bit. Anyway, I just thought, oh, bloody hell, shut the F up, But anyway, that's what I was saying. But yeah, I didn't hate her or anything overall. I thought she was all right. But she has a smaller part in this film and not a very necessary one. But Martha, the Superman's mum, yeah, she's all right. She's just a mother character. She's pretty cool. But she is the damsel in distress in this film, and I don't know if that's a good choice or not. But it worked for the film, so I wasn't complaining about that. And Alfred's good, and that's about it in terms of supporting characters. Oh yeah, there's Lawrence Fishburne as the guy of the Daily Planet. He's there and he's useless. So yeah, and anybody else? No, that's it really. Oh, apart from the main villain of the film. Well, I say the main villain of the film. The big giant fight at the end. There's Doomsday appears in the film. From Lex Luthor, because his plan is, I don't know what, well, I won't spoil it, but yeah, his plan makes Doomsday, and it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, Doomsday comes, he's alright, but he's just basically a big, giant, ogre-like creature that they have to fight. He hasn't really got any character or anything, he's just a thing. And maybe he is in the comics, I don't know much about Doomsday, but yeah, he's just like a big, giant thing, and yeah, they fight him, and yeah. That's about it. So that's Doomsday. So overall, yeah, the film's alright actually. It's slow paced, and I can see why people don't like it. But as a flick, it's alright. It's good. It's worth a watch. The only thing I will say to close on this, and I think it made me and I was watching it with my dad, and it made us both burst into laughter. Was the point in the film where Batman and Superman are actually fighting. And actually, on a side note, Batman's motivation to fight Superman in this film is very weak. I mean, okay, at the beginning of the film, I can understand why Bruce Wayne would not necessarily like Superman, but it was very weakly done. Like, yeah, basically his motivation to hate Superman there is one, but it's not a very good one. It's a bit flimsy, if you know what I mean. I won't spoil it, but yeah, it's a bit flimsy. It's like, it's a bit weak. But anyway, the biggest thing I had about this film that I thought was hilarious was when Batman's fighting Superman, and Batman and Superman, they don't end up killing each other or anything like that, otherwise that'd be movie over. But the thing that decides when they stop fighting and join forces to fight Doomsday. It's the stupidest thing I'd ever seen. Is because the reason why they stop fighting and team up is because Superman's mom, Martha, has the same name as Bruce Wayne's mom. Yeah. Both the moms of Superman and Batman are called Martha. And that's the reason why they stop fighting. I shit you not. It was hilarious. The reason why it was hilarious is because we watched Black Books the other day, where we saw the episode with Manny, with Gus. And if you don't know what Black Books is, you'll have to look it up. But basically, he's talking to the one character's talking to this gangster, and he's outlining the problem of the episode. The episode is there's things going on. It's all got mixed up, and he's gone to this gangster to get it fixed. And he just says like, the boss goes, "So how's that hanging?" And then the side character goes, "Well, you know how it is. Things are wibbly wobbly and all that. Things are not quite as it seems. Mums were mentioned." And he's like, and the gangster's like, "Ooh, total lack of respect." Basically, that's as soon as me and my dad both thought that, and we just thought, do you know what this movie's tagline should be? Batman versus Superman. Mums are mentioned. That's it. And seriously, that it just burst out laughing. So yeah, it's because their mums have the same name that they stop fighting. I know that's a bit of a spoiler, but you might as well, because oh god, that's probably why I don't think this film's that bad, because I think overall it it tickles me in places I wasn't expecting to be tickled, and not necessarily in a bad way. I don't know. Yeah, that was the only thing I will spoil, where I was like, yeah, that's just silly. But apart from that, overall, final thoughts. Yeah, go watch it. It's worth a watch. And me and my dad saw a bootleg copy. We didn't actually see it at the cinema. We saw a pirate copy. I would go and see it in the cinema purely for the special effects and all the stuff and all that. The special effects in this film are pretty cool. And I know people are like, yeah, well, special effects don't make a movie. I know. But then loads of people went to see Transformers, okay? And they're just big special effects pieces of rubbish, and they've made billions. So don't tell me people don't go to the cinemas and watch films for special effects and say, oh yeah, special effects ruined that film. No, if they did, you wouldn't go and see them. No. Rubbish to that. Special effects in this film look great, and my mum actually saw it at the same time as me and my dad, but she went out with a few friends to see it at the cinema, so that was fun, and she wasn't expecting us to see the pirate copy of it. I wanted to see Deadpool, but Dad was insistent on watching Batman, so I was like, alright, fine, we'll watch Batman. I'll probably watch Deadpool tonight. Yeah, Mum said at the cinema it was really good. Like, the sound's brilliant, the special effects are in your face. It's quite an eye-catching movie, you know, when the fights are happening and all that. It's really cool to watch. So do go see it in the cinema if you can. Yeah, it's worth a watch. Go and watch it. I think you'll enjoy it. I think personally, if you're a die-hard Superman Batman fan, you probably won't like this movie, and I can understand that. I'm not going to shoot anybody down for disliking this movie and why it's got such bad reviews. I believe I know why it's got bad reviews. But I thought it was alright. So it's definitely better than Man of Steel in my opinion. So if you liked Man of Steel, you may not like this film. If you didn't like Man of Steel, you probably will like this film. It's better. But it is a long one. You've got to be prepared for the long ride. It is a slow movie. So be prepared for that. Other than that, enjoy it. It's alright. It's fun. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just a film that you'll watch and come out and think, yeah, that was alright. Yeah, I'll probably get that on Blu-ray and watch that again in the future. Check it out. Anyway, so I'll leave it at that. So can I say thank you very much for listening to this if you have done. Take it easy, have a good one. Sorry it was a bit rambly and a bit repetitive and me not thinking straight. I've literally just woken up. But I thought I'd get this done now to try and be a bit productive before things kick off in the house. And then when I've got some time later on today, I'll get these 2 videos out for you. Not including this one. I'll get the other 2 videos out today. Okay, so have a good one and I'll see you in the next one.